Man, I got a crazy story for y'all, man. It's a UFC star, Anthony Smith. Nigga fought John Jones. He gave John Jones a good fight. And he could have won the fight on disqualification. But he said, I don't go out like that. Went on to continue to fight. Think John Jones need him in the head. It did something. And he asked him, do he want to continue? He said, yeah. So the fight went on and he lost it. But I think if he could have won by disqualification. But the story at hand is he's I'm gonna read some of the fight. UFC fighter Anthony Smith fight off home invader. Say the guy went shot for shot with him. Now Anthony, if you go and just Google Anthony Smith highlight, he's a fighting motherfucker. I saw the fight with Jones. He's a fighting motherfucker, and he fight at 202. But he gotta walk around at least like 215, 220, probably bigger than that. And this guy was only like 170 pounds, and he went shot for shot with this motherfucker, blow for blow. I don't know whether the guy knew Anthony Smith lived there and was training for months and went in there and tried to catch him sleeping and beat his ass. I don't know what kind of situation you can fight a UFC fighter. So that was a UFC star Anthony Smith had a crazy altercation early Sunday morning during a home invasion. Luke Halberman allegedly broke into Smith's Nebraska home in the early Sunday morning hours, and all hell broke loose. Despite being a UFC star, the alleged invader was able to go shot for shot with Smith for a while. Relate, man, David. That's wild, yo. You usually get your ass kicked when you fight against somebody with some tremendous skills. I'm talking about professional skills. This what Smith said about the altercation. No normal human is able to fight like that. I'm by no means the baddest dude on the planet, but he's a regular Joe, and I had a hard time dealing with him. And he took everything that I gave him. Every punch, every knee, every elbow. He took every single one of them and kept fighting me. Smith explained ESPN to ESPN Errol Wani about the fight. Eventually, police arrived and helped subdue Album. He was off. It was no doubt about it. The kid was on some shit, man. I thought the guy was on some crack, man. That motherfucker was. His name was Andrew. He was already insane. But I had to hold him on the car until somebody break it up, because I kept hitting him in the face, and he just couldn't box and fight at all. But he kept coming till I got tired and I held him down. But this motherfucker was on some shit. And I hit him in his eye. You know when you hit somebody in the eye, they usually like grab the eye or go down. This motherfucker just shook that shit off. And something told me not to go around there, but you know me, man. I always find trouble. Eventually, police arrived and helped subdue Harberman, who was charged with first-degree criminal trespass. It's not known right now why Harberman allegedly broke into Smith's house. You can watch Smith break the situation down below. Oh, got it right here.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. It's Ariel Hawani again on what has been a very eventful day in the world of mixed martial arts. Pleasure to be joined once again by the great Anthony Smith, who is scheduled to compete on April 25th against Glover Teixeira. But we are not here to talk about that fight. Perhaps we'll get to it towards the end of this interview. We're here to talk about something a hell of a lot more serious than that. It has been a very difficult day or so for Anthony Smith and his family, and I appreciate him coming on here with me to talk about it all. So first off, and we will of course get to everything. First off, Anthony, thank you so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me, Earl. I appreciate it, and sorry for the scratchy voice.
I totally understand. I think the audience will understand in a minute as well. I will sit back and allow you to tell me the story as best as you can. What happened to you Sunday morning?
Sunday morning at about 4 a.m., a little after 4 a.m., I guess 4:05. Um, my wife woke me up, panicked, and said, "There's somebody in the house." And so I jump up, and I hear a man's voice screaming at the top of his lungs, and he's not really saying anything. It's just uh, it was like from deep within. It was really loud, all the way till he ran out of breath, and then he would take a breath and scream again. So I ran out uh, from my bedroom as soon as I turned the corner. Standing in my computer room was a strange guy I've never seen before. My house was totally dark, and he just, he had this kind of, almost like he was flexing at me, this weird posture, and he was just, walking towards me. And it was weird. It seemed like I surprised him, which is really odd. But and he just started yelling, and that's where kind of pandemonium started. Um, my wife followed me out of the bedroom, and she heard I, you know, like she had to go down the hallway to get the kids. Um, and I just, I kind of just ran him over, and we started fighting. And this whole time, my wife was trying to gather the kids, um, get them to the bedrooms or to a bedroom so we can hide them. And it's just, and that was kind of where it started. The fight was on, and with the strange guy in my house.
And where is this exactly in your house? Is this in your living room?
I have kind of like an open floor plan, so
Okay.
it was right in front of like my wife's computer and where she does her craft stuff. So it's just this odd room that's off of our kitchen.
Okay. And so when you go downstairs to see this man, what happens?
As soon as I see him, I think I hesitated for just a second because, like, I don't know what I expected, but as soon as I turned the corner, like, because and my bedroom is on the same floor, so he was only 15 or 20 feet max from me when I came out of the bedroom. So as soon as I came out, he just looked at me and kind of flexed and like it looked like he was trying to scare me and was coming my way. So I paused and kind of thought to myself, I don't know him, and then it's just panic.
It's a long ass story, man. Get to the point.
Cops got here, so it took from the time the 911 phone call was made, it was just over 5 minutes for the police to get here. Um, Cops come in, he starts fighting them too, and they get me out of the room, and my entire computer room is just it's covered in blood. It's on blood on the walls. It's a mess. It's a mess. Um, so and then the whole the crime scene unit comes in. They're taking cop cars in front of my house, an ambulance, a fire truck. It's just a disaster. Um, and at the time, it kind of it just I think everyone assumed he was just some guy that was on drugs, or some guy that like he was confused because he was pretending like he was shocked he wasn't in his own house. So at the time, it seemed believable. Like he's on some crazy drugs. Like no normal human is able to fight like that. Like I'm by no means the baddest dude on the planet, but he's a regular Joe, and I had a hard time dealing with him. And he took everything that I gave him. Like every punch, every knee, every elbow. Uh, he took every single one of them and never slowed down and kept fighting me. He's doing everything he could to get away. Uh, so go through the whole police thing, and then the neighbors. By this time, it's 7, 8 in the morning. The neighbors start coming out, and they start all checking their cameras, and then some of the other ones start waking up, and it turns out my house was the second house that he was inside of. Um, One of my neighbors down the street woke up to him in his bedroom, like just minutes before he was in my house. I live in a nice neighborhood. It's quiet. It's not weird to leave your garage door open or to forget to lock it.
Yeah, man, it's a weird situation, man. If the guy wasn't on something, he was obviously training himself. The only thing you can come out of that, man. Strange story.